Hi YouTubers, this is Rob Moffat. Today we're going to do something a little different. I like making things and selling them on eBay and on the internet, finding little niche items that other people aren't manufacturing or making. And I like to search on the internet to find different things people out there are making. And today I was looking at something. People are making things out of beer bottles and beer cans. What got me started on this was I saw someone selling an old radio, and it's made from a Schlitz beer can. This is something from back in the 50s or 60s, and I was thinking to myself, gee, that wouldn't be that hard to make. And so I started looking at other things that people have made over time out of beer bottles and beer cans, and the more I thought about it, the more interesting it was to me. I said, you know what, if you found the right item, the right niche item, making out of bottles and beer cans, you could actually buy your beer and you could drink it, and you could use the bottles or cans to make stuff. Then you could sell them, and you could take the money to buy some more beer, and then you could use those beer bottles and cans to make your items and sell it. Then you could buy some more beer, and you'd have a perpetual motion beer making machine. Let's see what people have been making. I found online. One of the first things I noticed was fishing lures. These are very easy to make, would practically cost you hardly anything at all. It is difficult sometimes to put little snap rings on the bottom to where the hooks attach. You have to have the snap pliers. But they're not that expensive to buy. They're really good ones. And you could make your own little niche market of different lures made out of beer cans. They also make lures out of beer bottle tops too. I saw someone making they're called redneck champagne glasses out of canning jars, and then you take candlestick holders. Now this isn't really a beer bottle, but I thought it was related. It looked kind of fun, and they go for close to $9 a piece sometimes. I see where people put them two in a box, a pair, and they put ribbons on them, and they call them redneck champagne glasses, and it's like a joke gift for weddings. I thought it was kind of fun. And the only difficult part is finding a really good glue that will attach the glass so it won't come off. But that's pretty interesting. I saw a lot of people making Christmas tree ornaments, and I thought, how nice. I mean, you know that's got to be a really fun place to be at Christmas, where their whole house is decorated with beer cans and beer bottles. I'm telling you, I think it would be a really nice Christmas. Here's the angel on top of the tree, made from a beer can. Then you have the wreath on the door. I mean, you know, Merry Christmas. You come knock on this door, you know you're going to have a good time inside. Here's people making little keyring holders. You know, this is what Norm at the old bar at Cheers had on his keyring, besides a beer bottle opener. A lot of people are making little wind ornaments. I don't know how well they would sell, but they're easy to make, something fun for the kids. Here's a Christmas tree made out of beer cans. I thought this is great. I can see you going to your PTA meeting with your bag with all your school stuff made from your beer cans. Here's how to put the handle on. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, you're going to be the most popular person in school. But I love it. I think it's very inventive and creative, and it's certainly unique. You won't find anybody else with it. This is a lantern. The silver shiny part inside reflects the light when you put the candle. They're pretty simple to make, and you can also hang them. This has nothing to do with beer bottles or beer cans, but I love it. I couldn't help myself. I said, you know what? This would be so simple to make, and I don't know any kid in the world that would love to have something like that. Or you could have adults where you can make big feet and pretend you're a Sasquatch who got in the woods and make exciting news when people discover the tracks, I guess. Now here's people after my own heart. They made a boat out of their own beer cans. The HMAS Saraya. Here's a wonderful Christmas tree. I love they topped it with the can or bucket of beer bottles, all lit up. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree. Oh, these are great. You could go to the dollar store and get you some big old glasses and get some hot glue and put on your beer cans and make your beer goggles. Now, this is not me, but he does have my chin. You know you want this. You know you do. Okay, come on. Here's a guy that makes really expensive, fancy, avant-garde lamps out of plumbing and in bottles and all sorts of things, and he sells them for a really good price. They're kind of steampunk. They're pretty neat looking, and he has a pretty good deal. He makes pretty good money off these. Here's a chandelier out of beer bottles and beer cans. Pretty good. These are beer bottles made into glasses, and if you notice, the bottom is made from the top. It's a pretty neat glass. There's a guy, I'll give a link at the bottom. It's somebody who's come up with a very good method on cutting the bottoms off of beer bottles. I think is the best method I've ever used. And I'll link to it. It's a very simple method. Beer bottles are not that easy to cut. This would be something fun to do. Here's a guy. He's an artist. He's just flattening beer cans and putting paint on them. I like it. I don't know how much money he gets for them, but he's having a good time with his art. Now here's something you see at fairs all the time. People make these beer cans into different art items. They're kind of kitschy. They're fun to look at. They're not too cheap, but there's a lot of work goes into these things. A lot of work. This is a more common one. You see the airplanes at the fairs all the time. They're fun to look at. The little propeller spins around. Here's a pretty big one. A big old peacock. The next one, somebody is making bands for women made out of beer cans, and according to the people who make them, they say the edges are very smooth. You don't have to worry about cutting yourself. As opposed to this person who's making a soap holder for the shower. I'm pretty sure right next to the soap holder he has a Band-Aid holder made out of a beer can. And here's another inventor. This picture makes me upset because I think about these two guys, and I think about Al Gore, who got the Nobel Peace Prize, and Barack Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize, and these guys, what did they get? Nothing. They should have got something. Look at that. A surfboard made out of beer cans. All right. These guys deserve fame. I don't care what you say. I love this. Here's a purse made out of a Coca-Cola can. As if Coca-Cola was not everywhere already, but here's an ashtray made out of a Coke or a beer can. This is, I think, Australian. I think the only people I know in the world who have cans of beer as big as these are Australian. God love the Aussies. And you just put a little handle on the side. Here's a little crab made from a beer can. It's kind of cool. This is pretty neat. People just took beer cans and Coke cans and crushed them into blocks. And then I'm thinking you could take these blocks and build a house out of it and put stucco over it. And in time your walls will be worth a lot more money as the price of aluminum goes up. So no matter how far the price of your home goes down, the raw materials in it will keep going up. So everybody else in your neighborhood might be underwater, but you're going to be rising. These are little Christmas tree ornaments. Kind of cool. You can also make little mobiles and hang them over little baby in the crib so she can watch her little things made out of beer cans. This is just a light, and they use the bottom of the can because it's reflective surface. They put a light in there. It's kind of neat. Here's some earrings that someone's making. She says that they're not sharp, they don't cut at all, and they're kind of interesting. And they're very well done. She sells these on Etsy. I don't know the woman's name, but they're pretty neat looking. You want to take a look at them if you go to Etsy. So you can sell besides on eBay, you can also sell on Etsy. She's got some pretty nice pictures for them. Here's somebody. It's not a beer can. It's a artsy fartsy little spray can of paint. Someone's made into a light. You could do the same thing with the beer can, and I think it would look cooler than the spray can. I don't care what you say. Here's some more glasses made out of beer. Now, when you are drinking your beer and your glass is made out of beer, you need a chair. Actually, these aren't glasses. I think these are candles. Here's a chair you could sit in where you're deciding, is it candles or is it glasses? Here's something you put candles in. Kind of interesting. Here's a nice lamp, and when you turn it on at night, this is what it looks like. And that's a pretty big can. Now, what does a beer can look like? It looks like this. Now, here's an ashtray made from a Coke can. This is the best looking chandelier I've ever seen in my life. That's a good chandelier. Now, what about more practical utilitarian devices? Well, if you got mice, you can get rid of them this way. Put a beer can and on a piece of coat hanger and a bucket and put some peanut butter on it. Here's another crab. I like the crabs. They're pretty neat looking. Here's a little sculpture someone made out of the beer tabs. Next one is a little alcohol stove. There's at least a half a dozen people on the internet that make a full-time living making little camper stoves out of beer cans. You'd be surprised. Here's another chandelier. This next one is a little piece of art that's a one-of-a-kind. The little feet are made from miniature baking pans, and the other things are made from parts of machinery he's found around his house. This is a pretty cool little piece of artwork. I like it. Next one is a bag made out of the little pop-tops. Then we have another lamp. Now, take a look at this lamp. It's made out of a big beer can sitting on a table with numbers on it. And the wall looks like it's made out of plywood. You know you're going to have fun in this house. You know you can relax and put your feet up on the furniture in this house. I feel comfortable just looking at that photo. This next picture, it's kind of scary to me because I know you can put bottles into a kiln and melt them and you can make this, but you can also do the same thing when they have a nuclear explosion. And I don't know, this picture just scares me just a little bit. I don't know if I want to do this one or not. This is a Wi-Fi antenna made out of a beer can. The last one, someone's taken beer cans and shingled the house. I've also seen where they've made shingles for roofs out of beer cans. I like this house. I used to live in a neighborhood, and we had one neighbor. She had parrots. She must have had 24 parrots, and she taught them all to say the same thing, which was hello. And whenever you went to knock on her door, you'd hear inside, hello, 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 hello. You'd have 24 parrots all saying hello at the same time. I think if you were going to put beer cans over the outside of your house, you need to put like 24 parrots on the inside that say hello every time somebody knocks on the door. That would be a great house to knock on. Alright, well, I hope these are some ideas that might be handy for you. You could think of something yourself to make out of beer cans or beer bottles, and then you could put them on Etsy or Amazon or eBay or even Craigslist. You could make some money. You could sell them, take the money, buy some more beer, and make some more items, and you have perpetual motion beer making. Perpetual motion beer making company. Thanks for watching my video, everybody. I add more videos every week.